After the Dea fiasco, I'm a little bit cautious about Baizu. He's a Dendro Catalyst user who specializes on supporting his team. Baizu is bringing a lot to the table with heals, shields, and an increase to Dendro reaction damage. Some have stated that Yao Yao works just as well as he does, and depending on how you look at it, this could be a great thing. Free-to-play players have a healthy alternative, but on the other hand, does this mean that Baizu is underpowered just like Dea? Baizu's and can slither between up to 3 enemies. Once the sprite can no longer find a target, it will return to Baizu